a moment to address some important conversations happening across the WNBA, including remarks made earlier this week by Nafisa Collier.
Before the WNBA commissioner allegedly viewed it and completely lost the plot, everyone assumed it was just another innocent commercial. What was supposed to be a straightforward Caitlin Clark advertisement somehow escalated into a league-level meltdown, complete with awkward meetings, whispered phone conversations, and a great deal of abrupt silence. The most outrageous aspect of the advertisement was that it shattered egos rather than any laws. Stay tuned because this response says far more than the advertisement ever could.
The moments a lot of people has been waiting on, of course, Caitlin Clark now has her own brand logo with Nike, and everybody's been like, where's the love? Where's the rest of the love been? We've been very critical of Nike on this channel for that. I would have loved to have seen Caitlin Clark say, you know what? I'm going to get away from my agent. I'm going to get away from Nike. I'm going to go with somebody else. Agent and brand representation for shoes and other athletic products.
Christmas morning was meant to be a holy day. Sacred in the sense of business survival, but not in the religious sense. The day when phones cease vibrating, inboxes remain silent, and CEOs persuade themselves that the mayhem they caused throughout the year has graciously consented to take the day off.
In my statement that I have the utmost respect for Nafisa and for every single player in our league. They are at the center of everything we do. I was disheartened to hear that some players feel the league and me personally do not care about them or listen to them. And if the players in the W don't feel appreciated and valued by the league, then we have to do better and I have to do better. We know how great these players are on and off the court, how much they mean to our league, our fans, and our communities. If they don't feel that, I will do everything I can to change that. No one should ever doubt.
This was supposed to be the day for the WNBA front office. Following a season that felt more like a reality show reunion than basketball discourse due to record ratings, constant arguments, friction in the locker room, and social media fights. All they wanted was quiet.
Giving us a commercial, stirring up some buzz, giving us a potential release date, a time frame for when her shoe's going to come out, her signature collection already slowly starting to trickle out.
The kind of quiet in which the sports world discusses NBA Christmas games, NFL touchdowns, and ugly sweaters rather than women's basketball politics. Nike then decided that quiet was overrated at precisely 10 o'clock in the morning.
So today, this is dropped on Christmas. They waited to Christmas. I assume this will probably come out during NBA basketball today. Caitlin Clark's quote from Anywhere Nike ad features Travis Scott and the Kelsey brothers. They are in this ad. We're one step closer to Caitlin Clark's signature shoe unveiling. But before that, the moment has arrived in 2026. Nike has released the first official spot centered around the women's basketball superstar.
There was a notification. Not from a team, the league, or any official WNBA conduit that could be twisted, softened, or controlled. It was directly from Nike. Polished, self-assured, and utterly unfazed by the prospect of ruining someone's vacation. Caitlin Clark is everywhere in this 30-second, high-budget, cinematic film. Suddenly, a 5-alarm fire broke out within WNBA headquarters on Christmas morning. Because this was more than simply an advertisement for trainers. This was an independence proclamation. You must comprehend how the WNBA has traditionally attempted to function in order to comprehend why a single advertisement might allegedly drive the commissioner into full Christmas breakdown mode. The league has strongly embraced the concept of the collective for many years. More important than the individual is the shield.
First, the brand.
Since no player is intended to be bigger than the league, everyone is promoted equally, at least in theory. It sounds like a noble, secure, and cooperative philosophy. Additionally, it's a concept that falls apart the instant a real superstar enters the room. Caitlin Clark appears with a sledgehammer covered in Nike logos. It didn't feel like a sports advertisement. It had the feel of a trailer for a film. Every frame has impossible shots, snowy roads, and cultural relevance, coming from individuals that could easily purchase multiple WNBA teams with just their bank accounts.
Caitlin Clark's first official Nike ad for her merchandise line for the CC logo with all of it dropped, and it is so good. And then they went and dropped a second one. They're both on her Instagram. I'm going to show you some of the first. First of all, it features some heavy hitters. Second of all, the way that it features so many places that were important to Caitlin Clark is just so thoughtful and incredible. Her neighborhood in West Des Moines, the University of Iowa, the Indiana Fever, the New Heights, like everywhere. Let me show you.
Additionally, what was absent was equally as loud as what was present. Not a lot of branding. There was no indication that the goal was to promote women's basketball in general. This was about a single individual, name, picture, and message. She is not a member of the system. The system is her. The anger allegedly began to flare up there. Watching a sponsor declare to the world that they no longer require your consent feels less like marketing and more like a coup when you're a commissioner whose whole job is to manage balance, optics, and control. Nike did more than just advertise Caitlin Clark. She was positioned above the league by Nike. They didn't inquire. They didn't work together. They didn't act as though this was a team effort. All they had to do was hit publish, and the internet would take care of the rest. Owners pose awkward queries. In the midst of all of that, the commissioner became aware that the ground had moved while she was preoccupied with maintaining order. The commercial's specifics only exacerbated the situation. There was neither a celebration of the league's history nor a montage of WNBA highlights.
Dick's Sporting Goods giving Caitlin Clark her own part of the website. We've been on Nike's neck as of lately. Dare I say, this actually shows some creativity? Dare I say this Caitlin Clark is proof that you can make it from anywhere is brilliant? Let's take a look. Make it from anywhere, of course. Of course, at face value, anywhere on the court. She's hitting logo threes.
There is no obvious indication that this star is part of a wider ecosystem. Rather, the advertisement was a part of Clark's own world. A driveway was transformed into a stage. Snow turned into a setting. Distance turned into a symbol. It wasn't a subtle message. It implied that her influence extends across leagues, arenas, and national boundaries. From anywhere wasn't merely a catchphrase. It served as a caution. Within the league's offices, the unwritten rule has always been that sponsors and leagues move together, so the warning fell flat. We lift you, and you lift us. We sell tickets, you sell shoes. However, this advertisement dramatically violated that handshake deal. Nike made it quite evident that they are not devoted to the WNBA brand. Equity-based and promoted as the way of the future. The commissioner had openly supported it, presenting it as a way to address player remuneration and off-season visibility. In order to engage Caitlin Clark, they allegedly threw everything at her behind the scenes. A brief commitment, historic funds, and the opportunity to represent yet another league attempt. No, she replied.
Caitlin Clark's shoe is on her way! Yesterday on Christmas, Nike finally dropped a commercial featuring Caitlin Clark and her new Nike logo. Last year, she signed an 8-year deal for $24 million with Nike, which includes a signature shoe. And then we hadn't heard anything about it for forever. Now she's finally getting a commercial showing her shoe is on the way. And while the commercial's not up to like Asia Wilson levels of fun, it's still a cute little commercial featuring shooting her signature logo 3, stating from anywhere, meaning she can shoot from anywhere. And the commercial has cute little Easter eggs featuring like her upward team from when she was a kid, her driver from where she used to practice all the time.
Said that she was losing out, that she was passing up a chance to advance the game, and that she was prioritizing relaxation above accountability. Then, in only 30 seconds on Christmas morning, Nike removed that narrative from the commercial. The figures revealed a horrific tale. Clark's advertisement received more views in less than a day than the whole unrivaled league premiere campaign put together. Not by a little amount, but by several times. It was the kind of contrast that causes PowerPoint presentations to subtly vanish from agendas for meetings. At that point, the realization became apparent. Caitlin Clark was not made a star by the league. The league was being pulled along by the celebrity. And leverage vanishes as soon as that realization occurs. Appearances by celebrities that are expensive. It was not a casual Christmas morning drop, but rather the kind of advertisement you would expect to see during the Super Bowl. Additionally, The contrast was impossible to ignore because money was yelled in every frame. Here was Caitlin Clark, the face of a multi-million-dollar marketing machine, while the league she plays for continues to struggle with broadcast reach, production quality, and hey, that pale in comparison to the money she makes elsewhere. The advertisement did more than just promote shoes. It revealed the discrepancy between institutional compensation and individual value.
On this one, we have been waiting for Caitlin Clark to make her return to the Kelsey Brothers New Heights podcast. She made her way back and talked about her new sneaker that's going to be dropping. They're going to be better than Jordans, better than Kobe's, all of that. All of that. I can't wait to get mine. I can't wait.
But the one thing I'm frustrated with is I think she has the worst marketing team ever. I've never seen a marketing team that allows a player to completely alienate her consumer base. Guys, I didn't watch a shoe commercial. What I watched was Nike still trying to do a diversity commercial.
Every player, agent, and union representative now has tangible evidence that the money is there, which is the stuff that nightmares are made of for a commissioner in the midst of labor negotiations and long-term expansion plans. It simply isn't passing through the league. According to reports, owners weren't really happy either. Questions start flying when your largest asset creates a marketing explosion and none of that money ends up on your balance sheet. Why do we not observe returns? How come this wasn't coordinated? Why does it seem like Nike is cashing checks while the league watches from the sidelines? A champion, a 3-time MVP, a symbol of reliability, a Nike athlete, and someone deserving. Nevertheless, it was impossible to overlook the difference in presentation. Clark's advertisement seemed to be a big hit. Wilson experienced a sense of duty. It didn't matter if that perception was just. In sports marketing, perception is reality. Tensions that were already simmering were exacerbated by the belief that Nike was giving one athlete the royal treatment while others received the regular package.
Don't call it a comeback. Well, kinda. It's not like Caitlin Clark fell off or anything, but she was just absent for so much of 2025 after the huge 2024. And it seems like things are lining up for her to have a massive 2026. There's really 3 reasons behind that. I'll go through them one after the other. But the first reason is the Nike collab, right? We've seen the commercial. I feel like going to go down as one of those iconic spots that people will remember for a long time.
The kind of marketing effort typically given to generational icons was suddenly given to a rookie by veteran players who had spent years leading the league. Facts are not necessary for resentment to develop. All it needs is contrast. The commissioner had previously been attempting to defuse the situation for the previous 2 seasons. Social media pylons, targeting storylines, and hard fouls. Already, the league was precariously balanced between anarchy and competition. Because every hard foul is now read differently, this commercial did more than just shake that rope. It jerked it viciously. Every single altercation in court is characterized as envy. Every physical play contributes to a greater narrative about imbalance and contempt. Additionally, the product suffers when basketball becomes symbolic. Nike didn't end there. Honor the past. Pay tribute to the pioneers. Display the passing of the torch. This advertisement completely omitted the ceremony.